I block here. This is technically my backhand here. When I counterpunch, and I start chasing them down.
I've spent the last 10 years studying the masters of old, refining what I found, and redefining karate for the modern age. My aim, to modernize the traditional training methods while maintaining the vision of the old masters. Whether you're a beginner or experienced karateka, let me take you on a journey of personal improvement and self-defense.
What's up? My name is Quinn, and this is episode 3 of this modern karate series. In this episode, we're going to look at some fundamental guiding principles of karate, as well as some basic techniques. We'll also learn some drills and some exercises you can do on your own, as well as with a partner. Additionally, we're going to take a look at our first kata, Taikyoku, and the way we're going to practice it will encompass these techniques I'm about to show you. Now let's get started. To get started, we're going to learn essentially how to walk. As a human being, one of the first things you learn how to do is to move your body. With karate, it's not any different. So let's start out with a proper fighting stance. I want to step back, hands come up, elbows in, and we're just going to hold our hands in about this position for the duration of this exercise. Now, I'm going to put my hips down, almost like I'm kind of sitting in a chair. I'm going to put my weight onto the balls of my feet. Front toes are pointed forwards. Back toes are pointed at a 45-degree angle. Now let's just practice walking forward and backwards, maintaining this posture. So my back foot's going to move forward, like so, and then back, like so. And as you get more confident with this, there's the wall, I can make that into a smoother movement. And I want you to keep in mind, we don't want to be up too high. With karate, we are worried about takedowns and grappling attempts. So we want to maintain kind of a lower center of gravity. Stay low with this, all right? Now let's go this direction so you can see it from the side. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully I'm staying in frame here for you. Like so. There we go. So that's a very basic forward and backwards movement. Again, just really focus on the footwork here and maintaining your posture. We'll put the hands into strikes and blocks and whatnot later. Next, let's cover going side to side. So from that same fighting stance here, I can take my front foot and go across my body, take my back foot and go the other direction. So going side to side, it would look something like this. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like so. Now, once you're confident moving forward and backward and side to side, you can put some rotations in there. We have 2 that we're going to practice today. We have a forward rotation and a backward rotation. So the forward rotation, from my fighting stance, I'm going to take my left leg here, step across my body like so, and then my right leg comes back. So now my left hand and left foot in front. I go right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand. I'm gonna do it from the side now. And I'm gonna do this very slowly so you can see it better, hopefully. You can go right foot, left foot, left foot, right foot. So we stay nice and level and balanced and protected as we're turning. And it doesn't have to be 180 degrees either. I could go 90-degree turn here, like so. The point is I want to be balanced and protected while I'm turning. Now, let's take a backwards turn. So I'm going to sit back on my hips. I'm gonna put my left butt cheek behind me. I'm gonna turn, and notice here my right hand is in front, turn, right hand is still in front. I'm sitting with the hips first here. Turn, turn. Again, it doesn't have to be 180 degrees. I could turn 90 degrees at a time if I wanted to. Now let's take this and combine the 2. I'm going to go forwards turn, backwards turn. Right foot's in front. Forwards turn, backwards turn. Left foot's in front. And just practice getting really good at this sort of maneuver. So no matter how your opponent is moving, you're always able to face towards them. All right, that's the fundamental basic footwork of karate. Now, let's look at combining that footwork with some other techniques. Take a fighting stance here, and we're going to take that forward and backwards drill that we practice here, and we're going to do some strikes in here. I'm going to go with my backhand as I sink forward with my front foot here. This is called a reverse punch because it's with the backhand, the reverse hand here. And then as I step forward, I got this here, and this hand is going forward. This hand is blocking my face here. I want you to turn your shoulder up a little bit to protect your chin. And step forward here, again, strike, strike. And we can go backwards. 1, 2, 3. Notice a few subtle things here. First off, from my fighting stance here, I'm going to move forward with the hip on this first movement, this first punch, and punch at the same time here. I'm not going to go 1 and 2. I'm not going to punch and then step. Instead, I want you to do these both at the same time. And if your opponent's playing defensively, you then have the opportunity now to chase them down and move them back. So practice with this, moving forwards, moving backwards, moving forwards, moving backwards. And this works really well if you want to do this with a partner holding a pad. They just have to move forward and backward with you. Now we're going to do the other hand, right? You go fighting stance here. And instead of stepping forward and doing a cross, I'm going to step forward and do a straight punch with that front hand. And then I'm going to step through here. Now notice I've abandoned that sideways stance we had before. I'm more walking. I want you to avoid now lunging into this too far and throwing yourself off balance. Instead, it's important to have our forward momentum with our steps, not with our reaching forward. So 1, 2, 3, and back. 1, 2, 3. Let's do the other side. Lunging in. Again, shoulder is over hip. And assuming my opponent is retreating now, I'm going to chase them down. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Like so. So I'm reaching now into what's more traditionally known as like a front stance or a forward stance. But for the practice of me essentially running and punching here, it's okay to come up with this back foot because I'm planting my front foot here. 2, 3. In a more traditional karate, you would never see this back foot come off the ground like that. I'm doing that here because we are coming forward in a very quick blitz attack. So those are our 2 moving punches. Now let's cover some fundamental blocks. From our fighting stance here, I'm going to cover 2 things here. We're going to go a downward block or a low block, and we're going to cover a high block. So blocking the body, blocking the head. And we're going to take that and combine it with our lateral side-to-side movement now. So I would step to the side here, downward block. Keep in mind my opponent's not here, they are over here. So I'm facing towards that way where I'm blocking from, and then I'm going to turn 1, 2. So again, step 1, 2. Again, lateral step, block, turn, 1, 2. Now, the outside block or the rising block, I think in the videos we recorded previously, I did an open hand block, so more of a shuto block here, where you would go out like so and turn 1, 2. So it's the same principle. Block, strike, strike, step, block, strike, strike. And with these blocks, we're never going to stay in the same line of attack. So if I have a strike coming towards me here, I'm not going to go towards that strike. I'm going to go sideways and around from it, or if I have to, sideways and back. So that's kind of the idea here. I'm going to step away from, like, say, a roundhouse kick or a hooking punch over here, and then I'm going to turn back into them and follow through. We can even combine that now with the blitz we did. Block, 1, 2, 3. Or you go block, 1, 2, 3. And that's why I covered the reverse punch first, right? This one here, we started with the backhand punching first, because that is how we're going to set up these combinations. I block here, this is technically my backhand here, when I counter punch and I start chasing them down. So there you have it, low block with a counter and a high block with a counter. Thanks for joining me in what's probably gonna be the next video, part 2 of this. We're gonna cover Taikyoku, or the first kata that's usually taught in karate. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Sayonara.